Good evening, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. So we have another Let's Do Deals. This is the best off-market mobile home deals where we come together and let's do deals together. Let's pitch. Let's invest together and let's win together. That's the goal, the key behind it. Always adding value. Always adding value. So sitting here talking live on Instagram, and I have a few announcements here before we get started. We got deals, many deals to pitch. We have a few announcements of a few events that are coming up. Definitely stay tuned for those at the end as well. But today, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the event that we have coming up. So driving out, I think I'm right at around 500 miles today. So, I don't say these to brag about as to how many miles, I'm traveling. My goal should really be venturing off now to where I don't drive any miles. Where we drive no miles and we have a bigger team that's out there doing it. But, slowly but surely, that's what we're doing. As we're growing, we're multiplying, and we're traveling. So we did around 500 miles today, but I made it south of Georgia today, where we were doing some. It was surrounding the bond title. So we are studying it more and more, and always trying to figure out better ways how to do this. How to not go around the system, but how to use the system to do it quicker. One of the ways that we're seeing, obviously, always I call it now, is to get a title was to go through an abandonment for any owner of the land, landlord, park owner, doesn't matter. If they were going to do the process of an abandonment, I mean, you're talking about doing maybe 6 months, 9 months, 3 months. It just depends on the county. What you're doing with an abandonment really is you're going to the county and saying, hey, somebody left their vehicle in this case, because that's what a mobile home is. It's personal property. It is treated like a vehicle. Somebody left their vehicle on my property, and I need them to come and remove it, or I'm going to take ownership of it. So therefore, they start the abandonment process. Now, the abandonment process is nothing more than you claiming that somebody needs to come and pick this car, per se, out of my driveway. Well, if nobody took it when they got evicted or they left or whatever the case was, then there's probably nobody's going to come back and get it now. And now they owe you lot rent, there's fees, and they're done with it. They're done moving on with their life. So now they leave you behind with what park owners call junk. They left your junk behind on me. And it takes, like I said, depends on the city, county, state. Some city counties, they may do 3 months. Very few do we see at that point now. We're seeing on average is more around 6 to 9 months. That means you have to wait 6 to 9 months before you do anything. So you're sitting there losing revenue, losing lot rent, losing, I mean, even interest in other buyers potentially if they come in and you have rundown after rundown mobile homes. So with the bond titles and the process we're doing it, I mean, we done narrowed that down to about 3 to 4 weeks. But we have encountered some issues, and as everything, there's pros and cons. And one of those is obviously, Ben verifying if the bin is actually missing or it is not visible for the officer that comes out. That comes out there today, or I'll talk about that one today, is then you have to go through a whole different process to start over. And when you do get that bin actually arrived, you actually get an actual bin that you get to put on the mobile home. Then you have to re-verify. Then it's a whole different process. So look, it's just a lot of steps. And this is what we'll be talking out there on November 30th. So that's where the event is going to be. So we'll show you step by step on the above. So, but that's basically what I've been out there doing today is bond titles and figuring out, meeting with officers. Even got a position offered by a lieutenant, come and be an officer for us. That's probably not going to happen, but glad there was an interest there. So we'll leave that one alone. But let's go ahead and get started presenting deals here. I'll go ahead and turn the camera over for Instagram as well. But yes, all in all, it has been a long but very productive day. So it was a good day. It was a good day. We made some progress on a lot of stuff that, yet again, park owners said you can't do that. I love when people tell you can't do that. We go out and do it. So it's always nice to see the above as well. But let's see. All right. So one of the deals is coming up, and we're updating this as much as we can each and every week, all throughout the week. We have a lot more rehabs going on ourselves at this time. I mean, in Ohio, we have 3 crews going on at one time. That's 3 different mobile homes being rehabbed. Down in Central Georgia, as usual, our hot area, it picks up, slows down, but even when it slows down, we still have multiple at one time. So we have rehabs going on in Bon Air, we have rehabs going on in Macon, and in Warner Robins, all Central Georgia. So we have about 4 more crews there. And then over into Anniston, Alabama, Oxford, we have a couple crews that are going to be starting as well. So, these guys are out there. That is a job in itself. And if you've dealt with handyman and contractors, you know what I'm referring to. Every day is a different reason, different excuse. I'm not talking wrong about them, bad about them. There are some very good contractors out there, but nevertheless, it takes a lot of time that you have to allocate for. So that being said, is a lot of the deals that we're doing on here, and we're getting, the inventory is coming in. We have not yet deciphered through all of them. So, I'm not going to put a mobile home on the spreadsheet that needs it all electric being done. A mobile home has a roof caving in, that's not going to make it on. That's not a deal. That's a disaster for somebody to take over, and we're not going to list that. But along with that, it's not necessarily just the physical side of the mobile home. Also, documents, paperwork, legality. We got to make sure that all checks out. Are there any liens, taxes, lot rents paid up? So all these things we're doing one by one because it's part of the due diligence that we do. Now, we always suggest that all of you, of course, do the same due diligence. We're not here to be your advisor. We're here to present you opportunities with inventory that we have available. But it is up to you to decipher, is this a good deal for me? If it's not, then it's not. No deal is the same. No investment is the same. Some of y'all come to me with y'all call it slam dunks, and they are not. That's okay. If it's a good deal for you, have at it. Some deals that I may have, you may think I'm not dealing with that investment. So just it all depends on the party, I suppose, and the numbers of which they check out. But one of those areas is going to be Florence and Russellville, Alabama. That is a hot area, hot area. When I kept hearing Florence, I could say that's South Carolina, South Carolina. But I connected with park owners, park managers, and they said, no, it's Alabama. So it's not two locations. It's Russellville and Florence, which are about 30 minutes apart from each other, but they're both North Alabama. So, you're not far from the Tennessee line at that point right there in that area, and you're more so on the west side of Alabama. So, very, very good area though. Very, very good area. Beautiful parks. I mean, both of the parks that I visited, I mean, they're clean. I thought they were more 55 and above. When I first entered the parks, the communities, you can just kind of tell they're very quiet, very calm, very clean. I thought for sure these are 55s, which nothing, no harm on that. But they're not. They're all age, so that's a huge plus. But we have probably close to 30 mobile homes that are going to come available in those areas. So that's going to be huge. Florence and Russellville. We'll upload them on here. We got a lot of JV partners that are coming in. They've been emailing me. They're ready to invest. They know it's that time of year. And this is the same thing I'll tell all of you investors. This is the time of year that all of you should invest in. Why? Because you got tax time right around the corner. Don't look at it as I have to hold on to the property, the mobile home, for a month, 2 months before I can sell it. No, that's a plus. Get as many possible. I got one JV partner out of Texas. They want 7 to start with this year. So, we'll get them done. I'm sure we will. It all depends on where we're going to do it. Maybe Ohio, maybe down here in the South. So we'll see. But stay tuned for those. So let me jump on a couple of these units. Now, a couple that we have on here available. And look, I'm not doing any more rehabs. I mean, the rehab crews that I have excessive crews at this time. I'm not maxed out as to what I've done in the past, but I'm not going to have 20 crews going on at one time either. That's not happening. I mean, with all the coachings, the virtual, the live events, there's so many things that we're working on behind the scenes. We're working for events, putting together events for 2023 now. And I'm talking one in January, one in May, and one potentially in June. So we're always looking ahead into adding value. We just had Ed O'Brigman on here, in case y'all haven't seen that video on YouTube. The replay, he's the gentleman that develops RV and camper sites. So that's one level up. We may be going out to Mobile, Alabama, and doing as well. It's all about adding value. Many, many ways you can invest and get involved. So we'll talk about that one later. Let's see. All right, so the first one, I think I went over this one slightly last week. Now, I'm not going to rehab this one. We started rehabbing the other one, and there's one in Thomaston also that started getting rehabbed. So we're working on those now. Now we got another contract that's supposed to start in the Barnesville one. So again, one more rehab starting. That's just part of what we're doing. But we cannot handle all the above. So some of these I'm going to sell as is. We're going to sell them on here as opportunities for you all. Now here's one of the units that I'm referring to as one. I mean, think of the deal for you always. Don't be so focused on what somebody else is doing. It depends on your area, what you're trying to work on, and what your exit strategy is. I can give you my thoughts all day long, but it depends on you as to what you're trying to invest in. So, for example, this one here, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's a single wide. Rental rates, lot rent is $390. Rental rates is around $675 plus. By January, these numbers will go up. Asking price is $10,000. That's for in buyer. So the way I'm putting this one out, this is actually on the market, not just on here. It is on other sites as well. Now, as for an investor coming in, we are asking $7,500. But what is the plus to this smaller unit mobile home? New roof, new electrical, and new water. What are the most expensive things in a mobile home? All the above, what I just mentioned. It's the electrical, it's the roof, and then the plumbing. Of course, the flooring now with lumber has gone down a lot, which is a great thing. Still not as low as it was, but none of that also has to be done because it has also been repaired in this mobile home. When you see units, and by units I mean mobile homes in this condition where it's come in and send down some of this sheetrock mudding that the contractors did, paint them and put it together, and it's done. I mean, it is a no-brainer. You know what I mean? It is a no-brainer on this one because the biggest things are on there. Now, I know we got it listed as ARB 20K, but truth be told, when you're thinking about, and those are selling points, by the way. It is awesome when you get to say it has a new roof. That's huge for any buyer, any buyer, investor, it doesn't matter. So with a new roof, all new electric, all new plumbing, fully rehab inside and out, as you can see, and there's electrical, by the way. You can very well likely ask for more than 20,000. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Okay. Aniston, let me see. I went through. So we got an Aniston. This is for an investor. This is for a park owner who wanted us to list his unit on here. Try to push him to get on the idea of Airbnb. He's quotations too busy. I don't blame him. It's what it is. He doesn't want to venture into that just yet, then that's okay. But this is one that he had his team, his crew come in and rehab. They did a very good job. There's a few things I would have done this a little bit differently, but it's fine. It's just all, again, different crews is how they do it. So, okay, but these are some of the pictures on here. So this would be more for an end buyer or for an investor potentially coming in and trying to say, I don't want to deal with the rehab, contractors, handyman, material holding, list goes on. Just if you can have a mobile home move-in ready, I'll take over it in that sense. So, but he is asking 22,000 cash or best offer. I believe he said he would finance with 5,000 down payment. So that option is for any and everybody, not just myself. When we put them on here, this is fair game, everybody. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, single wide, also very hot area. This is probably about 30-ish minutes away from Talladega in Alabama, if you know where that's at. So that's apparently a hot area. I'm not into NASCAR, but hey, some people like to see cars go round and round. That's okay too. All right. Let me move on to my next one. So, Macon, we have a few that are coming back available. Let me talk about this Ohio one real quick. So, and when I say Ohio, I'm not pushing to get more homes up there right now, even though I could potentially come up with probably a good 15 units right this minute. Part of that is like a time. That's all that it is. It's like a time. We have so many things happening on at one time. But what I am pushing, and I'm thinking because we're November now, it is November 1st as of today. I may be looking for JV partners. So let's go ahead and get some of this inventory. I'll handle all the rehab, the contractors. I'll handle the sweat equity, if you will, from my side. And we'll take on the funds so that we free up funds in case we do get in one of these parks that we have lined up as well. So we may do that. And of course, my team will handle that somewhat on the side as well as to manage the crews, make sure everything checks out. The way we've done JVs in the past is where we basically, I like to keep it simple. I know there's 70-30s, 20-80s. I don't get involved. It's a 50-50 JV. Okay, just keeps it simple, keeps it right. So I like easy numbers. Okay. So something like that would be, and from a JV partner, that way you many times almost see yourself as a private money lender, if you will, private lender, but you have more security because you are part of the transaction. And it's not just that. If should the home not sell, we get it back, and it's a continuation of business that can go on, or you can get bought out at any given time. But we're thinking about something like that. I don't like to pass up on good deals, and I haven't passed up on the Ohio ones, but I put them on standby. So that being said, as they're on standby for now, and we'll see. But this one here is the same park owner that we're working on now. We did take his units, we done bought them, we done cleared everything. That's where the contractors are at. Of course, he came right around the corner and said, "Hey, Jay, I got another one. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to invest in it?" Sure, I said. I said I'm going to pass it. Now, clearly, he took it seriously. Sent me the title. Fine. So that's where we're at. So we taking it then. But this one will make it a little more special. On this one is the area of where it's located. I cannot pronounce that W word. I'm not going to say it. Say it's located in Ohio, W, whatever that's how you pronounce that. I'll put the zip code on there. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. ARV is 35K. The numbers I'm seeing up there are different. I'll say that. The lot rents are not excessive to the number of what I'm seeing ARV. So that is definitely surprising me. It has got my interest very much in it. But this one here specifically is inside of a 55 and above community. So that's another thing. People mostly think, New York, California, Florida, when you think of 55 and above. That's not the case. Atlanta has a couple of parks that are supposed to come into the mix very soon. And they're not far from downtown Atlanta. They're all going to be 55 and above. So currently those parks are all aged, but they're cleaning them up. They're moving them. They're even bringing a small, tiny homes into the community, just little things like that. But they're going to convert it into a 55 and above. So I'll say within the next few years, one thing we're going to see probably across the board more and more so is a lot of these communities are shifting from all age into, the whole trailer park sense to a community. And in order for to do that the quickest and the easiest way so is by obviously changing the whole concept behind it, and it's like starting with age. So we're seeing a lot of that. Ohio has a lot of 55 and above communities. Apparently, I was not aware of that. This is my first rodeo up there. So, with this community that we got this one, lot 45 is inside of a 55 and above community. So, we'll be taking another trip up there and seeing this park again. Once we get up there and see this one here, I want to see the biggest difference. But asking 7,500. The lot rent is 400. Rental rate is 750. And some of the pictures that were sent to us by the park owner. Okay, so nothing drastic. You know, one thing I've noticed about some of these, there is not as many mobile home investors in certain states. There's not. It is still growing in some to some park owners. It's almost weird that we do what we do. So when we come out there and they show me some of these homes, I had an investor take me into one of the mobile homes when we were walking, and a park manager. And as soon as he walked out, he had this almost discouraged look in his face when I walked into the mobile home. And he said, "So you don't really like these like this, or you know?" And I'm thinking, there's nothing wrong with this mobile home. This is a cleanup. Come in, put some Febreze, and we're getting in and out of here. But you know, to them, this here is what they consider a disaster. This is just horrific. They had to evict somebody, and I mean, they just left it complete what they say disaster. There's nothing disaster about this mobile home. I mean, this is a cleanup, touch it up, and you're good to go. So, you know, just kind of surprised. I love for them to come down to the south and see some of the mobile homes we've rehabbed. That'd be a real shocker on that. You know, we may have some fainters on our hands at that point, but let me keep going. All right. 7:20. I got a contractor calling me, as a matter of fact, now. So I got to get that in a few minutes. I'm assuming he's out shopping, browsing at 7 in the evening. Okay. Could have done that first thing in the morning, but that's okay. Let's see. Making number 10. We have this unit here. I think it got posted and we might have deleted it by accident, but I want to make sure we go over this one here because this is in the Macon area. All right. Single wide, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 750 rental rate. I would say 750 plus in that area now. 375 lot rent. It does include water and asking 8,500. Okay. Again, this is one of those units that has been pre-started. And I don't know the investor that was in here. He's not one of our GMHU students. It's just an investor who decided to come in, got bored, got tired, ran out of funds. I don't know. That's irrelevant. But basically, I mean, the condition he left it in. I mean, this is touch up. And again, I continue to say, when you see homes in this condition, I mean, there is nothing major here. These are simple mobile homes. If you cannot get this investment here and get it done within a week, maybe 2 weeks tops, something is wrong. Something is off. A full rehab, and I do mean some that even includes some gutting throughout the mobile home. You should not exceed 4 weeks. I mean, think of the square footage and what you need to do to mobile homes. They're so much simple. Taking off a wall and repairing it. I mean, it's as simple as insulation and a few sheets of sheetrock if you decide to do that, or the same particle board, which I don't typically recommend. But you can do it on the walls. Just don't replace lumber. Don't replace the flooring with the particle. Always go with lumber. So you know. But again, this one unit checks out. So this unit, we will probably invest ourselves by the end of this week. If it's not, just because of how quickly I know we can take this one here. New vanity, new toilet. I love when they change that out. So that's always that's for new. Let me see. And the ceiling. Always that's what I'm trying to pay attention to is the ceiling. I do not see any leaks, or you would have seen any stains. I don't remember seeing this. I saw this one about a month ago. I think it's been so. Oh, and it did have the HUD data sheet. I remember I was paying attention to that. So, all right. So here's another one of the units. But look, I'm not going to go to each one of these here. I'm going to talk about a couple announcements that we have going on and a couple things that we need. So here's what we need right away. If anybody has a deal, go ahead and pitch it on. I'll put it on the chat. Unmute yourself. That's fine. This call, as usual, will be replayed on YouTube. One of the things I'm seeing more and more is how little few people are joining the call, but how many people review the video, which means that everybody waits to a certain time to see the video all throughout the night or whenever it's convenient. That is fine. But the problem with that is if somebody wants to pitch a deal, then it's not on for that time. So we may need to see about maybe pushing this time to a different time or stop recording and sharing. If they want to see these calls, they can come on this call with everybody else. But 2 sales agents. This call will be posted on the YouTube, so I definitely need this. I need 2 sales agents. I offered this a few weeks back and I got some interest in the above, but then it was a whole confusion behind it. What was expected, what I really needed, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to clarify that real quick for you all. I need 2 sales agents. 2 sales agents means 2 people who are interested in becoming part of GMHU. Not only that side, but the investing side. Remember, we have multiple companies that one is investing, one is coaching, 2 different things. You're not involved in all the above unless you want to be. When I say sales agents, I mean sales agents come in and sell mobile homes. That's all your job to do. If you want to bring mobile homes in, that's also sell from the opposite side, which that's okay. Now, you're not going to be given inventory and go run with it and see what you can do. Hopefully, you can make something work. That's not what we're trying to do either. So we're going to take it based on your expertise in the sense of mobile homes. Now, if you already sell real estate, you sell maybe vehicles, cars, you probably already have a pretty good start on the above, but there's a lot of information that you're going to be also infield as well. Now, getting it on here can also mean, the selling part is virtual. Let me correct that as well. A lot of people felt that I was about to send them out to parks and they had to go show them, almost like you're playing a broker or a realtor. That's not what we're doing. You can do all this from virtually. Some of my most successful sales agents never go visit any of these homes. They're very good on social media. That is the most important place where you can be at. And they sell directly from their home, from the comfort of your home. So you do not have to leave your home. Now, I have a couple sales agents who they just have to go show people in person. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you go do that too. That's fine. Play your broker. I'm okay with that. Okay. There's no extra pay for driving, by the way. That's your choice. Uh, I will coach you. I will walk you through. So again, the goal is not for me to give you inventory here. Say run with it. Run with it and see what you can do. No. You'll have me available. Now, granted, I'm coaching a lot. I'm doing the above, but I will take time to always coach people, especially part of my team, because I want to set you up for as much success as possible. So I will show you where to post, how to post them, what to look for, certain things to put on keywords, et cetera, et cetera. When you do get questions, interactions, I will teach you on the above as well, as far as obviously all the details. You got to have all the details. You cannot be asking me later on, somebody asked what model it was. All those details are handed to you up front. So, again, you're set up for the most success as possible. But you can learn in the process. And that's a huge thing is, I've had some sales agents that start out as sales agents, and today they're investing. Part of that is because they learned in the process along the way. They started learning more and more as they were making deals after deals and started obviously investing themselves. So you got a lot of win-win behind that. If anybody's interested now, or when you review the recording, we will put a recap of this on Wednesday Facebook group as well. Of course, just send me an email, the letter J at symbol Garcia MHU.com. Send me directly and say I'm interested in the position. We'll talk about that a little bit further on that. Okay. Tomorrow, members only. Wednesday. Yes, we are still doing those calls, but it is only members. Did a couple free on YouTube and TikTok, and that's kind of come to an end. It is for members. We got to respect the people that actually paid to actually be there. So, wholesale, double wholesale, and OPM, other people's money. How do you invest with other people's money? That's a beautiful thing, beautiful concept. Even if I have funds in my pocket, there's something about it pulling it out to invest. I like to use other people's money. Plus, you give them back because you get to put their money to work. So you're not taking advantage by any means. Okay, so we'll be discussing that tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. If y'all checking this out, send us an email as well, or visit garciamhu.com and you can sign up for this subscription, which is, oh my gosh, I think it's like $49 a month. It's nothing. Okay. November 30th. I'll talk about that at the beginning of the call. Do not miss out on that opportunity. I'm telling all of y'all visiting this, okay? Because I already know November 30th, we're going to have that call. And come December 1st, somebody's going to email me. How do you get a title? You will be blocked. Bottom line, you're going to be blocked because I'm not going to answer that question. November 30th, I'm going to answer every question. And that's why I'm spending so much time out there. I drove 500 miles today to go do I could have sent somebody else to do it, but I wanted to be out there firsthand. That's what a coach and a mentor does. I'm not teaching. I'm showing you what we're learning. And we've come upon a few little issues with the bonded titles because of the bins that are not being verified, but we're able to go up. We basically found solution after solution. And that's what we're trying to do on here. And a lot of this is key work behind me and the bond titles and how we're able to process this to get it done quicker, because that's the goal. I know the bond titles will happen, but we're not talking 6-7 months. No investor wants to sit around for that long. So that's what we're trying to speed up. My thing is I want these titles now, quick. If we do a closing, we do a selling, I want to make sure the titles are here within the minimal time. So that's what we're doing. But we spent a lot of time out there today. I did record a video early this morning. I think it's already posted on YouTube. Go check out. I'm out there with the officer, and I had to present the little VIN. It was missing a VIN plate on it, so it didn't have a HUD data sheet, didn't have a HUD data plate. It had nothing. So we were able to identify it with public records, but nevertheless, they could not do the bond title until we had the bond at the actual VIN plate in my hand. So we went out there and did it this morning, and we found a lot of other information. So we are set for November 30th. If you are investing, or if you're a realtor, broker, or real estate or mobile home investor, you need to learn the steps because you will encounter us sooner or later. All right. So I see nobody needs to present at this time this evening. So let's see. All right, so that's all I have for this evening here. I am backed up behind as usual, typical Tuesday. We are looking at we're looking to traveling. That's gonna be a little surprise, kind of thing, a little excitement on that. We will be traveling a lot different very soon. Stay tuned for that announcement as well. So how we get to and from, no more 500 miles. We can't keep driving on the roads. That's wasting too much time. So stay tuned for that as well. But that does it for this evening. I see nobody has any deals. I will see you all tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining.